Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Jason Scrimpsher. I'm a commercial insurance advisor with Hibbs Hallmark and Company. We're in Tyler, Texas. So I really do appreciate you allowing for my late submission. I consider this an honor to even have you guys, even consider my entry as a top 10 finalist for the Protege. It's probably no surprise that, each of us contestants spends hours trying to write, edit, shoot the best, most creative entry that they can come up with. But when it comes down to it, I look at it from your perspective. The creativity and the polish is nice, but what I would look for is the heart of what the contestant brings to the table. David's 3 questions and the directions really cut through all the BS. So if you guys are good with it, I'm going to move forward. So question 1, why do you want to participate in the Protege? My participation is not for notoriety or to become, the best and brightest or the latest insurance celebrity. I can't compete in that aspect and I don't want to. The reason I want to participate in the Protege is because I'm 2 years into my sales career. And I'm just really disappointed with my prospecting efforts. I'm no longer okay with relying on our agencies, their old school approach to sales and prospecting methods and using tools like the diagnostic appointment questionnaire and the wedge. I know they work, so don't get me wrong. It's easy to prospect, with those strategies and use those tactics to paint that pretty picture and meet revenue goals, but that's just not my style. So Ryan Hanley, I'm looking at you, brother. So I've been following your content since, I stumbled years ago across your Content Warfare podcast. I want my prospects and my customers to have a positive experience with me and know that they can trust and be the one that they can share information with that they may not normally share with, outside their immediate family, because they know I care. Caring and authenticity are powerful emotions, and you can count on me, if you decide to vote for me, Ryan. Since Power Producers and Killing Commercial launched, and after I read, David's The Extra 2 Minutes, I've gained so much more knowledge and insight, while obsessively listening to the podcast while driving, mowing the lawn, washing dishes, and taking advantage of them any other opportunity I could. Now, what I've implemented so far has led to meetings and calls that I didn't think I could land before because, I just simply followed the process that you guys talk about in Shop Talks. But I've really become overly obsessive in learning from you guys. Hey, Kyle Hauk. Hey, man. I love the way that you interact with the Power Podcast guests. It's inspiring. My favorite Shop Talk so far has been 2 no's leading to yes. Honestly, I crashed and burned on, probably my first 3 or 4 attempts when I went with 2 no's to yes. So I consistently re-listen to the episodes, listen to your explanation and how it worked for you, because it's the process that works. The more time I spent believing in the process, the more confident I could tell I was right off the bat when I was talking with the prospects and telling them that their mod was 1.4 and causing them to spend at least 40% more on their workers' comp than their peer group. I mean, their reaction was like a kick in the pants. They didn't know what to say, other than just being surprised. So when they realized no one's come out in the last 3 to 5 years to do a workers' comp experience audit, they're like, that's not even something that's real. So when I hear the uncertainty and the skepticism in their responses, hitting them with the short 20 to 30 minute requests for just a brief meeting to sit down to help, map out how they can stop that financial bleeding just made sense for them. So Kyle, having your vote would be a game changer for me, man. You can trust that your vote's going to go to someone who's going to bring it every single week. And I'm going to also provide a strong sense of dry humor. Jason Cass. Hey, brother. Jason, I'm working to secure my first middle market account. When I thought of you, I always remember listening to you describe your experience and how Killing Commercial changed the way that you do business. Ultimately, this is what I'm working for. So being a top 10 finalist for the Protege is really only the tip of the spear for me. I really have no doubt that it's extremely difficult to vote, for the finalists because there's so many good entries. The person before me is just as vulnerable as I am, and they lay it out. They lay it all out on the table for you. So I'm a candidate. And I want to be a contestant who the audience can see is genuine, passionate about insurance, loves helping others. If you can see that in me, then I want you to vote for me as contestant number 10. Since I'm late to the game, I assume votes are already in for contestants 1 through 9. I think question 2. Why should y'all pick me as one of the top 10 finalists for the Protege? I'm gonna say Bradley Flowers. Let me ask you a question, brother. Hey, when you watch reality shows, who do you say you align with the most? Like type of personality? What do they represent? Is it trust? Is it their warmth, their humor, their enthusiasm, their energy? Bradley, if I have your vote as a top 10 finalist for the Protege, you can rely on my authenticity, my relatability, and trust. So until we meet in person, man, you got this video to rely on. I don't want to be in your shoes. So while the qualities are good, how do you know it's not just an empty promise? You really don't. So you're relying on me to convince you that I'm the right fit. I'm considering the fact that I have about a 13% chance of being selected as a finalist, for the 10 entries and then the 75 or so entries. So Bradley, your vote for me would be seen as the elusive 15-pound largemouth bass. Question 3. How will it change the trajectory of my career if I'm picked as a top 10 finalist for the Protege? Oh man, I love this question, and honestly, it's the easiest for me to answer because it's growth, confidence, and experience, hands down. These are gonna steer the needle of my career trajectory. It's not gonna be my background as an underwriter or a market research analyst for carriers that insure middle market companies. It's not gonna be my professional designations, my licenses. When I look at working towards the task that David mentioned, I look at them as MBA case level studies. If you're not seriously going to put in the effort every single week, you're going to be sent home. Now, I'm way too competitive to allow that to happen. When I look at that, I think of, Joshua Lipstone. Man, listening to your conversations with David on Explain This Book to Me, you're just out of the world, man, out of this world. So I could tell that you put in some serious planning, because that level of production and professionalism showed on each and every episode. So when I demonstrate that similar level of commitment and presenting my business task each week, Joshua, you're going to be confident in your vote for me. I know you will. Having the ability to prove myself each week is really what it's all about. So Ricky Hayter, I know you got the captive experience initially, and then you opened A&R Insurance. Now, I assume that your trajectory changed too. It was probably like drinking from a fire hose, going from captive to independent. You got to learn about the carriers, the guidelines, the coverage, more coverages, etc. But my point is that you had to shine each and every day for your customers and prospects. If I had to guess, I would think that it's your growth and confidence is what improved. And you had to develop a whole new toolkit of experiences. Now, just know that a vote for me is one measure towards improving the trajectory of my career. I mentioned earlier that I'm disappointed with my prospecting efforts, but what I didn't say is that I'm proud of the clients I've onboarded and the way that I've brought them into our agency's family. There's no doubt that I'm going to be tested mentally every single week as I progress. It's these challenges that I want and that I need at this point in my career. Now, finally, David Carruthers, dude, I got so much respect for you, man. The stuff that you put out every single episode, every single week, like clockwork, it blows my mind that you have that capability. And also the generosity with your time. It doesn't go unnoticed. So I truly cannot express my gratitude without, getting broken up here or emotional. But I want you to know that, one of your sayings that it's not the process, it's the individual. That took me quite a bit of time to really grasp and understand, but I've got it now. So I'm taking advantage of this opportunity to be selected as a top 10 finalist. My trajectory is absolutely going to change because, let's face it, why would somebody apply for the protege and not be fully committed to doing the best work? I mean, I really don't know, because that's not who I am and that's not my style. You can be confident in selecting me because, value aside, David, part of my trajectory is going to be to share with others who are in my shoes right now, by helping them along the way. So again, I just want to thank you guys for your time. Again, my name is Jason Scrimpsher from Longview, Texas. I'm pumped to hear if I have what it takes to be a top 10 finalist for the protege. Either way, I respect what everyone does in this group and the decision that's ultimately made, and I will continue to do good work. Thanks for your time and consideration, guys. Y'all have a good one.